Hello, welcome to Crayon the Goods. This is my sweet girl, Mila. Today I am making some cute last-minute Christmas gifts for my fur baby. These projects are the perfect way to use up some of those scrap pieces of vinyl you have laying around. We're doing a Christmas stocking name tag, a bandana, and a treat jar. These are also great if you need a few last-minute pet gift ideas for your friends, your furry friends. So let's get started. First is our treat jar, and I got this over at Dollar Tree, and I think it was originally meant for cotton balls, but it makes a cute little treat jar. I'm also using the premium red holographic sparkle permanent vinyl, and I'm using my Cricut Joy Extra. This machine is just great for small projects like these. So let's head over to Cricut Design Space. Here's the design that I'm using from Creative Fabrica, and I've already uploaded it. I did make a few small changes, so let me show you what I did. Let's come over here to the left and click Upload. We'll select our design, and here it is. I'll add it to my canvas. I'll click on this arrow to give us more room, and I'm just going to move this over. Next, I want to add my sweet Mila's name. So I'll come over here to the left and click on the text box. I'll type in MYLAH, and I want to change the font, so I'll come up to the top, and I already have a font in mind called Thick Black, and I did bookmark it, so I will click on that, and then I'll type Thick Black to find it faster. Here it is, and I'm just going to click on it. I really like this font. It is so pretty. Okay, I'll use the sizer to make Mila's name closer to the size of the other words in our design. Next, I'll ungroup the main design so I can move the bottom section down. This gives me the space I need to keep everything proportionate without having to shrink her name to fit. I'll click on the design, go up to the top, and click Ungroup. There are several groupings in this design that I will need to ungroup, but here is our bracket. I'll ungroup it. I'll move the bottom section down to make room for the name. I'll adjust it by moving the bracket and resizing the name until I think it looks good. Now, I'll hold down the Shift key on my computer, select the two brackets and the name, go up to the top, click on Align, and then click Align horizontally. I'll highlight everything. I'm going to go up to the right, click Group, and then I'm just going to move that over. Next, I want to change the color. So I'll come up to the top, I'll click on the little color box, and then I'm going to just change this to red. This is just for visual purposes. Whatever you put on that mat, that is the color it will cut. Next, I want to size the design. Our jar measures 4 inches high, and I want this design to stand out as well as keeping it proportionate. So I need to come up to the top, keep the lock locked, and I'm simply going to adjust the height to 3 inches, and I feel that'll be a good size for our jar. I'm going to come down here to the bottom and zoom in a little bit so we can see what we're doing. I think I want to add some of these paw prints around our jar. So I'll go up to the top and I'm going to click Ungroup. I'll scroll down here on the Layers panel. I'll find our paws. I'm going to hold down the Shift key on my computer and I'm going to click both the paws. And then I'll just click Group. I'm just going to move these out of the way for now. I'm going to highlight our design and I want to show you something. So I'm going to zoom in. You see these lines? They're cut lines and we need to remove them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come down here to the right. I'm going to click on Combine, then I'll click on Weld. Now you can see everything will cut out into one continuous piece. Now, let's move on to our paw prints. I want to make them closer together as well as adding a few more. So I'll ungroup them, move them closer, then I'll highlight them, click on Group, and then click the plus sign to duplicate them. Then I'll highlight all 4, click the plus sign to duplicate again. I'll do this one more time. Okay, next I'll just line them up, highlight all of them, and then I'm just going to click group. I want to show you what happens when we just click on the group. I'm going to come up here to the top and click make. As you can see, all the paw pieces are scattered. So let's click on the cancel button. And this time I'm going to highlight all of them, come down to the bottom, and I'm going to click on attach, which will work fine in this case because none of the pieces are connected, and it will keep everything uniform. Now I'll click make again. Now you can see everything is well organized on our mat. I'm just going to move this away from the border. I am using a mat, and I'm going to change the material size to 8.5 by 11. I don't have to put the mirror on. It's not HTV. I'll just click continue. I need to set my base material, so I will click on browse all materials, click all categories, scroll to vinyl, then scroll down to the material I am using, which is premium vinyl holographic sparkle. I'm going to click on that, then I'll click done. I'm going to keep my pressure to default since this is a new blade that I am using, and I'm also using the fine point blade. So all I need to do now is load my mat. I'm using the standard grip mat. Again, I'm also using my Cricut Joy Extra, but you could use any cutting machine for these projects. I'll add my vinyl to my mat, and then I'll take my brayer and I'll make sure that it adheres nicely to the mat. Next, I'll move my Joy Extra, giving it more room in the back so the mat doesn't hit the wall while it's cutting. I'll load my mat and then I'll click the go button. Once it's done cutting, I'll check to make sure it cut all the way through, and it did. So I'll unload my mat. Now I did notice that some of the vinyl had lifted from the backing, so I'm going to use my brayer to smooth everything out as well as my squeegee. I don't want to have any pieces lifting when I need them to stay on the backing. I'm hoping that this will make weeding a little bit easier. As you can see, a little piece did pop off, but it was a negative piece. I like to weed on my mat. It's like having a third hand. I'll start at the corner and I'm going to come down on an angle. Then I'll take my scissors and cut away the negative vinyl. This helps me to see what I'm doing as well as it doesn't fold back on itself. I also like to look at the negative to see if anything didn't get weeded out. Once everything is weeded, I will turn over the mat and release the design from the mat. Oh, that looks so pretty. Next, I'll add some transfer tape. I'm using Cricut's regular grip. I'm always looking for a really good transfer tape, so I'm curious, what is your favorite brand to use? Let me know in the comments below. I'll remove a portion of the backing, and then I'll add the transfer tape to the design. Then I'll use my squeegee to smooth it out so it doesn't wrinkle. I'll make sure to burnish it well on both sides. Then I'll take my scissors and I'll just cut the paw prints and set them off to the side for now. Let's prepare our treat jar. I'm going to be using some rubbing alcohol and a clean paper towel to remove any of the oils and dirt. Then what I'll do is I'm going to use my PYD cradle holder. This will keep my jar steady while I apply my design. Next, what I need to do is remove the backing from our design. And let me tell you, this gave me a lot of trouble. It took quite a while to do. So to save time, I'm going to speed up the video. I'm going to trim the design and then cut slits so it will be flexible when I apply it to our jar. Then I'll fold it like a taco. I like to use my pinkies to help center the design. I'll place it down in the center and then smooth it from the center outward. I also like to take my squeegee felt side so not to scratch the design. This will help to remove any wrinkles and air bubbles. I will now remove the transfer tape, and I did have to be a little patient here because it did come off in little pieces. Oh, that is looking so good. I really love how sparkly this vinyl is. Next, I want to add the paw prints. I have 12 of these to place in total using 2 different sizes, and I did prepare them off camera. I'm just going to go around the jar and place them randomly, one by one. Since I'm making this a holiday treat jar, I'm curious, do you make special treats for your pets during the holidays, or do they just get their usual favorites? Let me know in the comments below. I'm trying to make sure I get a good mix of the different sizes all the way around the jar so it looks balanced from every angle. As I go, I'm smoothing each one down, just using my fingernail to make sure they are all attached to the surface. Now, once I have all 12 in place, I will start to take off the transfer tape. And while I was removing it, one of the pads stayed on the tape, but I just found it and placed it back where it needed to go. I'm just going to finish peeling off the rest of our transfer tape. Here's our finished treat jar. I filled the jar with treats and I added some decorative string along with some cute little red jingle bells. This treat jar is all finished and ready to gift. I would love to hear what is your favorite way to spoil your fur baby during the holidays. Next is the bandana. I actually got these in a 3-pack from Amazon. And what's great is they are all reversible. I don't have a before picture to show you, but as you can see, they have a Christmas theme on one side. And I want her to be able to wear it more than just during the holidays. So I'm going to add a design to the other side to make it work year-round. The one I'll be using today is this red and black buffalo check. So let's head over to Design Space and take a look at the design. Here's the design that I will be using. How cute is this? It's called Positively Adorable, and again, I got this at Creative Fabrica. I'll be sure to put the link in the description box below if you are interested. Now, there isn't much we need to do with this design, but I do need to size it. And I decided to make it 4 inches wide. And the reason I chose that size is because I measured our bandana across the middle, and 4 inches fits perfectly within that space. So let me come up here to the top, and I'm just going to keep our lock locked and just put in 4.0. And this will just keep our design proportionate. Let me zoom in a little bit so we can see what we are doing. Next, I want to change the color. So I'm going to come up here to the top and I'm going to click on the color box to change it to white, which matches our pretty Flock HTV that I am using. I should mention that while most crafters call this HTV, which stands for heat transfer vinyl, Cricut usually goes by the term iron-on. There's only one more thing that I need to do, and I'm going to come down here to the bottom where it says combine and click on weld. This will ensure that everything cuts out in one continuous piece because I don't want each word to cut out separately. And that's it. All we need to do is make it. So I'll come up here to the top and I'll click make. I'm just going to move this over a little bit. I am using a mat and I'm going to set my material to 8.5 by 11. I'll click continue. I need to set my base material, so I will click on browse all material, click all categories, scroll to iron-on. I am using Flock iron-on, so I will click on that, then click done. Because I selected an iron-on setting, Cricut will actually automatically turn on the mirror for me once it knows that's what I am using, which is so convenient. I'll keep the pressure to default. I am using the fine point blade, so all I need to do is load my mat. I'll be using my purple strong grip mat because Flock vinyl is quite thick, and this will ensure nothing shifts during the cutting process. Personally, I love using Flock because of that soft, fuzzy texture it adds to fabric. One important thing to remember when placing your HTV on the mat, always put the shiny side down. That shiny side is actually the carrier sheet. So we want the Flock side facing up because that is the side that needs to be cut. I'm just going to use my brayer to make sure it adheres nicely. Then I'll load my mat and then I'll hit the go button. After the cut is complete, I'll unload the mat and cut away the unused portion to save it for a future project. Then I will weed the design. Let me tell you, this material was so easy to weed. I'm going to speed up the video because I don't really think you want to watch me weed out the design. Now, it's time to press. I'll be using my Cricut heat pad underneath, and I always use this because it protects my work surface and reflects the heat back into the project, which ensures proper adhesion. Here is the bandana I'll be using. This side features Merry Christmas print, but we'll be using the reverse side for our design. I'm using the Cricut mini press on the second notch, which is 300 to 350 Fahrenheit, to apply our design. Now, before I apply the design, I'm going to preheat the bandana since the material is 100% polyester. I will press it for about 5 seconds to remove any moisture as well as wrinkles. Okay, once that is prepped, I'm going to position our design, and I want to bring it closer to the point at the bottom, because when I roll up the bandana and I put it around Mila's neck, I want to be able to see the design. So I will make sure to position it and make sure it is even. And I like that little paw right there down by the point, and that looks good. So next what I'm going to do is I'm going to add my Teflon sheet on top, and then I'll press it for about 25 seconds. Once that is done, it will be a warm peel, and then I will remove the carrier sheet while it is still warm to the touch. Now, a final step. Cricut recommends turning the item over and pressing the back for additional 5 seconds, and this ensures the design is fully secured to the fabric. And there you have it. I think that just came out so cute. What do you think? Here is the stocking and the black wood tag I'll be using. I found this stocking and just had to get it because the dog silhouette on the front reminds me so much of Mila. The tag features these beautiful natural wood beads and a black and red buffalo plaid bow that matches our theme perfectly. I have already cut and weeded the name in red glitter iron-on using the same thick black font that matches our treat jar. I sized it to fit this 2-inch by 3 1/8 inch space, making sure to mirror my design before cutting. I went back and forth on the placement, but I finally decided that having the name go across looks best. That red sparkle is really going to pop against that black. Here's a great tip for working with wood is to use HTV instead of permanent vinyl. Sometimes permanent vinyl struggles to stick to the wood, but the heat from the iron-on allows the adhesive to bond directly into the grain. Because this wood tag is painted and it's relatively thin, I have set my mini press to the first notch, which is about 255 to 295 Fahrenheit. It doesn't need much heat for the glitter iron-on to adhere, and this also prevents any damage to the paint on the tag. I'll cover it with a Teflon sheet and press it for about 15 to 20 seconds. Once it was done, you can see the carrier sheet just popped right off. It bonded perfectly, and it's not going to go anywhere. And that's it. 3 quick and easy Christmas gifts for your fur babies. A treat jar, a bandana, and a stocking name tag. I hope this gave you some fun ideas for your own pets, or maybe for that last-minute gift for a friend's furry friend. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up and please subscribe so you can see more easy Cricut projects. From me and my sweet Mila to you and your fur babies. Merry Christmas. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye for now.